Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Days Grimm. Coming to you from Bruceville Rod and Gun Club. My name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas Grimm. This is an interesting setup.
I am nervous.
On the pop.
I don't have a phone. I don't have a monitor. I'm nervous.
Yeah. We got this.
I'm out of my comfort zone, but here we are.
Who's joining us this week at the Rod and Gun Club?
In Bruceville, mind you. Joining us today, comedian of 20-plus years, really great gentleman. I've been informed that it's a hard O, not a soft O, Mr. Wayne Wiskow.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, sir, how you doing?
I'm fine today.
Oh, yeah, dude. Well, welcome to the Days Grimm. Have you heard of us before or no? I don't know.
I hadn't. No, I'm from the other side of Illinois,
you guys,
so I hadn't heard of you.
You're from the dark side, so they don't have the internet out there, I guess. Is that what's...
Oh, you have to go into St. Louis.
Starlink.
Well, welcome to the Days Grimm. It's not much, but we like to have a good time.
We're catching you before a stand-up comedy show.
Yeah, that's what we're doing here in Bruceville, right?
Yes. I'm featuring tonight for a good friend of mine, Tim Boner Bone.
A.K.A. Boner Bone.
Who has been on the show. Go watch his episode.
Don't
know the number.
Neither do I. Yeah, it was a few months ago, man. Boner, dude. He is
funny.
He's a hoot. He's a dirty comedian. My favorite kind of comedian. I really like the Boner.
Right. So, Wayne, do you want to give our listeners like a brief elevator pitch of like who you are, what you do, where you're from?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm 76 years old.
Years young.
I am the oldest touring comedian in the Midwest right now.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
We had an older one. He died a couple of years ago.
R.I.P.
I had absolutely nothing to do with it.
It's not involved. I have an alibi.
I've been doing comedy for about 24 years.
Okay.
It is just a wonderful hobby because it's certainly not a living.
Yeah.
What did you do for a living?
I worked for over 32 years with the Department of Army, so it was a natural transition into comedy.
Gotcha. Yeah, Brian's ex-military.
I was in the Army. I was in the infantry, unfortunately. Best, worst thing that ever happened to me.
I was in the office.
Oh.
We actually we wrote a joke about that. The military has their own postal service. And so we were talking about like if Brian were to attend one of these post-war like AA
circle groups or whatever, comfort groups,
and like Brian's like, oh man, I saw a lot of blood, whatever, and the guy next to him is like, oh man, so did I, and then it flashes back and he's just getting paper cuts in the mailroom.
He's like the mail clerk, and he's just so much blood, and it's like flashbacks.
His fingers are all taped up.
You get paper cuts there.
Well, you know that's where the term "going postal" came from, right? Back in the day, they used to have to sort. They used to have to sort mail by the zip code, and mailmen would come in and kill like all their workers.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there's actually a video game called "Going Postal."
My son is a postal carrier.
Oh man,
he is. He's you know what it means when the plague at the post office is at half staff. We're hiring.
Oh, that's a good one.
Which seems to be every day now. Yeah. Honestly, that's one thing. Have you guys noticed the flag's at half-mast almost all the time now? Is anyone else realizing this?
I'm seeing it.
Yeah, it's happening all the time. So the post office is for sure hiring. And I'm gaining this knowledge from our friend Wayne Wiskow. Just today. This is the first time I've heard of this. So you haven't heard of the Days Grimm. You don't know who we are. We're just a couple of strangers to you.
That's right.
And there's 100 other strangers watching this right now, and they're like, who is this Wiskow fella? We're going to dive into who you are and what you do, but not before, and you got to give it a dramatic pause, so take a couple breaths, but not before we do this Death of the Week. I did inform you of the Death of the Week.
That's right.
It's going to get good. So, Tom, would you be so kind as to read this week's Death of the Week?
Yeah.
The Death of the Week.
Who we got?
This week, the Death of the Week is brought to you by abcnews.go.com.
ABC News, good source.
Yep. 20-year-old man falls 400 feet to his death from the rim of the Grand Canyon. This was written by John Hatworth at an August 2nd, 2024 at 1:10 a.m. Really punching that crunch time line there.
Yeah, last minute.
All righty. A 20-year-old man has fallen off a 400 poorly written, has fallen 400 feet to his death from a scenic overlook at the Grand Canyon, officials say. The Grand Canyon Regional Communications Center received a report on Wednesday at approximately 10:40 a.m. that a visitor to the park had fallen from the rim of the canyon a few hundred feet west of Pipe Creek Overlook, according to a statement from the National Park Service released on Thursday. Rangers responded to the location immediately and were able to locate the body of 20-year-old Abel Joseph, I don't know how the hell to say that last name, from Hickory, North Carolina, about 400 feet below the canyon's rim. No shit.
Nice.
Mr. I don't know how to say his name was near the edge of the rim when he suffered an accidental fall, officials said. An investigation into the incident is being conducted by the National Park Service and the, however you say this, county medical examiner's office. Nice little picture of some people, like over the edge with that equipment going off.
Different kind of over the edge.
Still over the edge. Authorities have not disclosed on how whatever this guy's name is managed to fall to his death or why he got close to the edge in the first place. I think he wanted to look into the canyon. Pipe Creek Vista is a popular stop for visitors and is the first pullout heading east toward the Desert View on Desert View Drive.
I don't like that. I don't like a pullout.
It can be accessed by a private vehicle or by using the free park shuttle bus, which departs from the Visitor Center shuttle bus terminal, according to the park. No shit.
Okay.
The Grand Canyon National Park staff encourages all visitors to have a safe visit by staying on the designated trails and walkways, always keeping a safe distance, at least 6 feet. We learned that during the pandemic. From the edge of the rim and staying behind the railing fences.
All right. I don't care about the safety guidelines. Fuck the Parks and Recs people. Honestly, big government can suck it. Okay, I want to get to this guy that fell over the ledge here, who really went over the edge.
Have you been to the Grand Canyon?
I've not. I've driven
Wayne,
around
have you been
it.
to the...
I've not been to the Grand
Really?
Canyon.
I've been a few times, and it's so easy to get to the edge.
Really?
Dude, yeah.
So easy.
Yeah.
There's not a fence or nothing?
There, in some spots, there's like a highway guardrail.
They don't have like a guard goat or something?
No Chinese apple factory
Netting?
No, nothing.
Do you know about this? Do you know about the Chinese apple factory netting?
I'd not heard about it.
Yeah, so they work these people in the apple factories in China so many hours that it's frequent that they will go to the top of the building and then jump off attempting suicide.
Yes.
But however, they lost so many people to that Apple wised up and they were like, all right, we're going to put nets all around the building.
So it's like a trapeze net. So it catches them, it rolls them to the ground, and they send them
No,
right
so
back
much
in.
as suicide, it's more like fun.
Right.
Now we're going out for recess.
Right. Let's get a little adrenaline rush and get back in there and let's rush these iPhones.
Yeah, let's crank out this iPhone 23, you know?
Oh, yeah. Did you see that guy in Russia?
No.
He got a hold of the new MacBook M4 a month before it came out and started releasing all types of content on YouTube, like unboxing, benchmarks, everything along those lines.
I want to get to this death of the week. First off, are you interested, Wayne, in seeing the Grand Canyon?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I just went to Yellowstone 2 months ago, and my wife and I talked about going down to the Grand Canyon, but we just didn't have enough time to fit it in the 6, 7, 8 days we were there.
I've always wanted to go to Yellowstone.
Yeah, it was
Yellowstone is amazing.
Pretty tight?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, my. Yeah, and you stay on the paths there, too, because it's not so much the fall, it's the sulfur, boiling sulfur pits that will take you right to the bone.
The demon piss.
I'd like to get in on that.
Dude, so Yellowstone sounds tight. However, the Grand Canyon is super dope. I mean, you can see it from outer space.
And a lot of people die there.
But, yeah, and then when I searched this article, I found out a lot more people fall into the Grand Canyon than one would assume. Like
it is crazy that it was formed by a small river just over a long period of time.
So what you're saying about there being no guardrails makes a lot of sense because, like, a lot of people are dying there, which is odd. So, like, because it's got to be, like, 1,000 feet deep or whatever. So, like, you would think that you would just, like, not, hey, don't go to the edge. or so close.
I mean, when
I'm sure there are signs,
yeah.
but after that, it's pretty much up to you.
After that, it's fucking Darwinism, dude.
That's it.
Are you a fan of Darwinism?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, dude.
So
Then the herd, baby.
were you born and raised in Illinois?
No, I grew up in Minnesota.
Minnesota, cold
Minnesota.
winters.
Nice, dude. You still got a little bit of the Minnesota twang.
Minnesota doesn't have an accent, does it?
Yeah, it's like
never noticed.
Like a dirty Canadian is what it sounds.
I grew up in southern Minnesota, nowhere near Canada.
I'm getting ready to go to Wisconsin in a couple of weeks, so I'm
that's
looking
too bad.
forward. I'm looking forward to visiting people of your region. I don't know. So close to Canada.
So what was it like growing up in Minnesota?
Yeah, how long
it was
were you
wonderful. We had the change of seasons there.
there?
We had snow in the winter. I loved it. Sledding down the hills, ice skating. It was terrific.
So what'd you do? Did you play sports through high school growing up?
I did.
What sports did you
I
play?
actually lettered my senior year in baseball. I was the second baseman on our high school team. Thanks to the fact that Jimmy Peterson broke his ankle the second game of the season.
You're just taking all the titles by people getting hurt.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
yeah.
kid, like people dying and getting hurt.
He was the starting second baseman. He was gone, and I was pretty much the bottom of that barrel.
Nice, man. How'd you do? How'd you fare? Did you do okay?
I hit .061,
Okay.
and my slugging percentage was also .061.
Okay.
On base percentage was a little bit better. It was 122.
Okay. You're speaking Chinese to me. I'm not a big baseball guy.
Okay, well, there you go.
But you did good, though. You lettered. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean?
So what'd you do after high school?
I attended the University of Minnesota for 4 years, majored in political science, and minored in economics and math.
Oh, nice, dude. And you want to, did you quit school or did you graduate?
Oh, I graduated in 1970. If you guys are too young to remember.
1970.
But there were college protests back then over a war in Vietnam.
Were you one of the hippies back then, or were you?
Oh
pretty
yeah, I
straight
was
edge?
I marched.
Hell
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
and
dude.
and as a result,
He said one of the
I didn't-
hippies. God
As
damn
a
it.
result, the leader of the march died.
we did a little experimenting in college.
Yeah. That's going to be the next thing. He's like, yeah, the leader of the march died, so I took over the march.
Right.
No, I'm joking. But you were doing protests and stuff. You were part of the movement.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome,
I
dude.
did want to rewind a little bit. Were you like a class clown through high school and college?
Yeah.
Yeah.
think
You always
now-
get
I
in trouble
started
for
my
jokes.
comedy career in third grade.
Gotcha.
Nice.
What, you got a story from the third grade like that?
No.
Okay.
No.
You don't have one that stands out where
No.
you like pranked somebody super hard or like.
Yeah, I did. I made an insult, what I thought was funny, about the guy who was state wrestling champion in one of the weight classes, and he let me know a couple days later that he didn't find it all that funny.
Yeah, I made a joke.
So
like
I
that
didn't do
this
that
week.
anymore.
So Wayne, the 70s were like an interesting movement in that
Yeah.
time. You said you got to experiment a little bit. Just to fast forward a little bit, have you tried experimenting later in life with some of the similar things to see if it's a
What
different?
do you have in mind?
I don't know. Whatever you were experimenting with back then. You know?
Yeah. You ever experiment with?
I didn't know if like
I'm up for it. I haven't.
You haven't?
I
Oh,
haven't,
dude.
but that's not for lack of trying.
damn,
Yeah,
if
man, I
our
appreciate
buddy would have came with us, we would have hooked you up.
I've told.
All right.
How
Sounds good.
How young did you say you were, sir? 70.
I'm 76.
76. If I make it to 70, I'm doing one. I think.
I don't know about that.
Well, basically, if I retire, I'm going to try a bunch of stuff. Is all I'm getting at. You know what I mean? I'm just.
I just didn't know if acid back then was different than acid now.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah.
good point. Did you ever goof around? with
I didn't do acid. I didn't
No?
drop acid. It wasn't
Gotcha.
that prevalent.
Really?
Oh, okay.
No.
See, like our generation, you're like,
Shocking.
oh, it's
I must
acid
have
and
led
weed
a
and-
sheltered college life. I don't
Gotcha.
know.
Yeah, that's wild, dude. So in the 70s, I kind of want to hover around that for a little bit because one of my favorite, even though I wasn't alive, but like one of my favorite like decades, plural, of America was like the kind of the 70s and the 80s. You had like big social movements happening,
Yeah.
so there was change happening.
A lot of
But-
cool
yeah.
music.
But there was killer music. There was we were on this cusp of like this new age of a new way
Yeah.
of thinking and a new way of doing shit. But we also had like way more freedom back then. I feel like you
yeah, you
could,
didn't have to wear a seatbelt.
yeah, dude. It was just like you could drink beer in the car, riding down the road. You know what I mean? Like
I mean, you
things,
can do that in Texas, but
things are just they were different back then. There was a sense of like more freedom.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, so what's one of your main what are one of your main memories of that when you think about the 70s and the early 80s that nostalgic memories?
I actually attended college from 66 through 70. So 70 was when I
started your career.
graduated and then went to graduate school after that. But there's a part of it there toward my senior year in college that's kind of hazy because it was a fairly raucous time with alcohol and weed.
Okay. That'll happen, dude. That'll happen.
Yeah, I do remember ending up at a woman's apartment after a water volleyball game, intramural game at the University of Minnesota, where apparently during the game at some point, in trying to score a point, my foot accidentally caught her bra top on her swimming suit and knocked it down for a bit. I did not notice that at the time.
Well,
but
I mean,
she told me about it later and offered
to reenact it.
Yeah, essentially. I was up for that.
Yeah.
We had earphones on, listening to Jimi Hendrix, and it was wonderful.
It's a good time,
dude.
It sounds great.
She sounds like a nice lady, dude.
She was terrific. I cannot remember her face at all.
just the tube top.
The boobs, I remember.
Yeah, hard to forget, man. Something about a special set, you know.
So
I mean?
after you get done with college, what's next for you?
What do you step into then?
Oh, I loved school so much. I went to Winona State College to get a teaching certificate, and I taught for 1 year after getting out of Winona State. I was in Colby, Wisconsin,
Nice.
where they make Colby cheese.
All right.
And I taught there 1 year. I figured out very quickly I was not going to get rich that way. So I kind of changed my focus and took the civil service test and joined the Department of Army as a civilian employee.
So so you weren't you weren't like a soldier.
I was not military.
But did they back then, like now they have, I think they call it GS or whatever.
GS, yes, that's what I was.
Were they doing that back then?
Oh,
the
yes.
GS3 and your ranking?
Yes.
So okay, you started that in what year?
1971.
1971. Damn, I'm trying to think. Was the singer of the Doors dead in 1971? I don't know.
Sure.
That's my immediate thought. I have ADD.
Yeah.
But anyways, so how does that go? Like, how do you get into that? And what was your job? What did you do?
Oh, you had to take a test. They give them throughout the year. It is not that difficult if you've got anything on the ball at all to get into the civil service.
Okay.
So I started at a fairly low grade, a GS5.
That's low.
As an intern.
Okay.
And then made it to the time that I left as a GS14.
So wouldn't a GS1 be lower than a 5, though?
They don't start people at ones except for some menial jobs that do not have anything to do with
that Tom and I might qualify
right,
for.
I can clean toilets.
Yeah.
Hit me up.
Honestly, I'm good at changing light bulbs. And you do that for how many years?
I was with the Army for over for just 33 years.
So you start your comedy career or hobby when you're still working for the military?
Excuse me?
Did you start doing comedy when you were still working technically for the military?
Yeah. I left the Army in about 08.
Dang, dude, I was graduating high school in 08.
And
nice.
I started comedy in 2000. So I'd be doing that on open mics and everything on the weekends and honing my craft.
Where were you located when you started doing open mics? Were you still
up in the Quad Cities, Rock Island, Illinois. There's Rock Island Arsenal, right there on the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
Where the river runs east to west.
I own a Rock Island. I'm familiar.
Yeah.
I'm familiar.
They have a lot of nice comedy up there too.
Really? Okay.
They do.
So now that we're in the meat and potatoes now. Now we're in the meat and potatoes, and I want to know. The year is, you said you started your comedy in 2000 and...
Yes.
2000.
Year 2000. So it's Y2K. Everyone's done spazzing out about the computers shutting down.
Yep.
And in 2000, before you even do your first open mic, what even prompted that? I mean, obviously you were kind of a clown and a cut up and you like to joke with people, but like what gave you the balls?
I went to comedy shows and I went to open mics and I saw...
Just to watch?
To watch.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, I can do better than that. And I do.
Right. So
the first time though is pretty intimidating.
Yeah.
When you're up there the first time trying to make people laugh, it can be more difficult than it often looks like.
Did your first time go smooth?
Not really.
I don't feel like it normally does.
Neither did the 8th time. There were some bombs in there.
Hey, man.
We're not talking about 2001, right?
Yeah, this isn't the invasion of Iraq, dude. Relax over there.
2000, I was with the Department of Army from it was actually 1984 that I joined that. It was after my college.
Yeah.
And they sent me to Europe in 2000.
Gross.
It was hard duty. I was stationed in Livorno, Italy, for a summer.
Oh.
Right, 5 miles from Pisa.
Spoiled,
hard
dude.
duty.
Yeah, that's rough. All the pasta you can eat.
All the carbs.
Wow.
All the carbohydrates. Yeah.
Yeah, and the wine.
Yeah.
I was ordering what they call a mezzalitre of wine every night with dinner. I didn't realize until later that's 2/3 of a friggin' bottle. Okay.
Hey, man.
I think I developed a
situation.
I was trying to avoid it, but yeah.
And then you go to bars and do stand-up, and it's right
And from there, I went up to the Netherlands. I was there for 8 months.
Oh, that's...
Dude, the Netherlands have some crazy stories.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the Netherlands.
Do they have strip clubs?
Marijuana was legal. Prostitution's legal. The age of consent was 16.
Dude,
I thought I died and gone to heaven.
Dude, they have strip clubs where they just dump toys out and you like strippers with sex toys as a fucking...
That's aggressive.
In Amsterdam, they have what is called the red light district. You've heard of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's window shopping.
The women there are right in the windows. Okay, and they're down to the panties and bra, and they're luring customers in. And then occasionally, a gentleman will enter, and the curtain will shut. And then you sit there in time to see how much longer it is before she's back out there, because she takes some time to clean up, too, I'm sure.
I hope so.
I hope. One would hope.
You hope it's not like a quick wipe situation. No, that's interesting, dude. And then, I guess Netherlands, they probably have some pretty beautiful women, but I know Italy does. So you were definitely like surrounded in like your prime by just beautiful women.
I dated a young Dutch woman for 4 years, and you'll hear a little bit about her if you're here for the routine tonight.
Oh, we will be.
Okay, and let me tell you about her. She was very young, and we were out on the town. Now, one of these places that we went to was a bar that was kind of like a split level. You walk down half a level to the basement and half a level up to the upstairs part, right across from the red light district. And we're up there having our drink on the sofa overlooking the red light district. And she looks down at the street, and this gentleman is motioning to her. And I said, "What's going on?" He says, "He's propositioning me." And she says, Not here. The red light district across the street. I said, "Wait a minute. How much you got him up to?"
Yeah. Let's hear him out, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe we can spend another 6 months here, you know?
Yeah, I'm really trying to just keep rent going. God, that's wild, dude. I haven't had the luxury of partying and hanging out over in Europe, but I have been there, unfortunately. But it is a nice place, man. Beautiful women and tons of... there's no drinking age, apparently. You can just be like 12 and walk in a bar. So that's pretty neat. So you come back. When do you come back from Europe? When's that stint over
Middle
with?
of 2001.
Middle of 2001?
Just before the attack on the towers.
Nice, dude. Perfect timing. Never forget. Were you doing the open mics in Europe first? before
No, I
here?
didn't do any open mics in Europe. It's a little difficult because most of the people at the bars there don't speak English, and I don't speak any kind of
Netherlandian.
That's
Dutch, they call it.
Oh, Dutch. Yeah, my bad, dude.
Or Italian, at least not enough to be understood to tell jokes.
Yeah, I get
Okay.
you. I get you. I don't speak either of those languages, actually. So you come back in 2001 just
So, my question is, you come back in 2001, you start doing open mics. How much of your material is missed due to your crowd not having the same life experiences of being in Europe?
Oh,
and
no.
stuff?
Ooh, yeah.
I relate to the crowd very easily. Most of my routines, and you'll hear it, are from my life. There's a grain of truth in almost every joke I tell, almost.
That's where the gold's at.
That is. It's taking what happens to you and then just exaggerating it, building it a little bit more until you get to the absurd and then eventually the humorous.
Right.
I think there's a reason why the two words humility and humor are so close to one another. You really need to be able to look at yourself and just be like, I am a bald bitch. All right, let's write a joke about it. You know what I mean? Like you gotta be able to look at yourself and tear yourself down a peg.
I do self-deprecating humor.
Yeah,
too,
exactly. I think that goes self-deprecation goes a long way.
You mentioned earlier that like times 1 through 8 you might have bombed. What kept you motivated to get back on stage and to try again and to try again and to try again?
I wasn't going to let that stop me. That happens. It happened to every comedian that ever started out has bombed at least once. You know, it's not a stopper.
So it's like, what draws you back though? Like, is it making people laugh that gives you a high?
Yeah,
Is it
it's certainly not the money. I'm making $10 on this trip. Okay,
that doesn't even cover gas.
that's considering the gas.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Yeah,
I guess it's still a win.
yeah, still a win.
Off topic question. Well, actually, it's on topic. Speaking of bombing, would you rather stub your pinky toe to the point to where it might be bleeding a little bit, or bomb on stage in front of a full crowd, sold out show?
Okay, my wife is never going to hear this podcast, so I can tell you. I was on a deck overlooking our swimming pool out back.
I thought you were going to say the red light district.
My wife was down there with one of the neighbor friends.
Yeah.
I was pretty stoned.
Okay.
I got up to go say hi, caught my pinky toe on the leg of the chair and the table next to me, went down in kind of a surreal out-of-body roll because I was so stoned, got up and realized I'd dislocated my little toe.
Oof.
And also had broken the 3 toes next to
Ouch.
And I stumbled back into the house, trying as best I could not to let the wife know that I was stoned when I did this stupid thing.
God.
I'd much rather bomb in front of a crowd.
Right. Okay. So that's a good answer. God damn, that sounds brutal. Oh.
It's fine now.
I think I'd rather bomb in front of a crowd too after that story. Jesus
So what's like your
Christ.
early years of comedy like for you? Like growing up, going to open mics, like growing up as a comedian, I mean, like going to open mics, getting experiences, like you're hitting hometown. When do you travel away from hometown to do a set?
I do. I like to go back to Rochester, Minnesota, which is just 20 miles from my hometown of St. Charles, Minnesota, which no one will have heard of.
Hold on. Is that
But-
not the capital?
Yeah.
St. Charles is the capital of Minnesota, correct?
Sure, sure it is.
It's not?
It's St. Paul, but don't tell
Oh,
anybody.
son of a bitch. I thought I
You're,
was
you're so
country.
close.
I thought I was
Catholic
smart
country.
for a second. Damn it. Okay, anyway, sorry, not to interrupt you.
And when I go back there, I like to let the people from my class, graduating class in high school, know that I'm going to be there. So some of them do come out. That's always fun. Always fun when you have some people there and relatives too who come out and see you.
At your
yes,
high
dude.
school reunions, do you go to those?
I have.
Do they ever be like, man, I knew he was going to be a comedian or anything like that?
and I did comedy at one of them. It went well. I did one another time. It didn't go so well. I poked fun at people and
Still
some of them-
roasting them from back in
Some
high
of them
school.
are
Yeah, dude.
They're not speaking to me anymore.
Oh, man.
Still roasting all the book
I
nerds.
told one about one of the, and this is so her. One of the women in our class. I said, Diane's the type of woman who will check out on the first date. She'll get her hands in a guy's pants to check out the size of his wallet. She did not take that. She did not take that well.
I love that.
But it was very well
I
deserved.
love that. I love that. That is a well-designed joke, man. And that gets me to actually, let's take a quick. But that brings me to my next point, though. So your style. Every comedian kind of has their own style, but there's like these broad strokes that we like to put comedians in. And one of the most broadest strokes is like, are you a clean comedian or are you a dirty comedian? Where do you fall under?
I'm edgy.
Edgy? So you think you
Edgy.
fall more into like alternative, darker comedy?
It's not really that dark. Well, yeah, it's dark.
Well,
But
also,
you're-
do you think that changes with age?
Yeah, it gets dark at parts.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you start?
How
Did you like your style when you first started forming these jokes?
Like,
and
were you
these
edgy when you
bits?
started?
I was just playing off other comedians.
Really?
I was-
And
I
who
was-
were some of those? I don't even know if I would know them from. I guess Pryor was around in the 70s,
My
but
childhood hero is Emo Phillips.
Emo Phillips.
You know
okay.
Emo?
All I know about emo is dark hair and cutting yourself.
I
He had
know.
the page boy haircut. He talks in the sing-songy voice like this.
I might know him.
And one of my favorite jokes of his, and I'm going to tell it right now. He was being interviewed on the radio, and the host asked him. He said, "Emo, I know you recently divorced and moved back home. How's that going?" He said, "Oh, not very good. I came home the other night and found my mother going through my socks and underwear, and I said, 'Stop it, mother. That tickles.'"
That's good.
God damn, that's pretty
good.
good. That's pretty
Emo's
good.
a hero.
So who were some other big ones that you were drawing inspiration from?
Well, I guess comedy back then, I don't know if you know, Brian, was like sometimes like it was mainly on like radio records. Like it wasn't necessarily, I mean, you had in-person shows, but like it wasn't something you saw on TV on a regular basis, right?
Yeah. TV, and I took in some of the shows when I could, when some of my favorite comedians would be around. But yeah, TV mainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Pryor was getting big in the 70s, right?
Yeah,
Richard Pryor's?
I would. There is nothing of his I could use.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, his
Nothing-
stuff's like
not that
targeted.
style.
Yeah, targeted
that
in a
style.
different direction. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else was big in the.
Well, was there like a point where you really started to like notice an uptick in like maybe your audience or like your fans?
Yeah. As I was going to say, Joe, just one other one that I
Okay.
took after was
No,
Steve
you're-
Martin. Steve Martin.
Steve Martin, yeah,
Yeah.
he got big in
Yeah.
the 70s and 80s. Yeah,
Yeah.
He was doing
But,
in-person shows.
But yeah.
Yeah, when did you see? So back to Tom's question, when did you start seeing an uptick in
Laughs or audience?
laughs
when
or
I started
applause?
getting paid.
When you started getting paid?
Yeah.
Or do you
It took
know-
a while. It wasn't before I got back from Europe, that's for sure. But yeah, you start getting paid and you think, okay, this is good.
How many years in do you think it was when you first started getting?
About 3 or 4.
3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
That's still not bad though. There's
Yeah.
some people that do it for 5 and 10 years and they don't get a paying gig like ever.
Yeah.
I
Was-
mean,
What was like one of the biggest shows you think you've done?
Oh, let's see. I was in Effingham at the convention center for about 250 people, and that was a good show.
Yeah, nice size crowd.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is sizable for sure.
That's good.
So do you find now, even through the last 20 plus years you've been doing comedy, like what's your intake like? Do you still consume comedy?
Oh yeah, I love.
Have you ever heard of Kill Tony?
What?
Kill Tony?
No, I don't know that.
Oh,
Kill Tony?
buddy, we're gonna have
Yeah.
to,
No.
sir.
It's on YouTube. It's the number one live stream comedy podcast in the world.
All
Number
right.
one live podcast in the world.
It's
not even
live.
just comedy.
They're the number one live podcast in
and
the world.
it's so like the guy that writes all the roast jokes. If you've seen any of the roast shows, he writes a
Yeah.
good chunk of them. He and then like his college roommate, and then they have like 2 celebrities that come up, and they give people 60 seconds to do a joke. And so
Okay.
you get 60 seconds, and then if you suck, he's going to roast you. And if you're good, they try to find out more about your life, give you a joke book,
All
and all
right.
this stuff. And it's in front of a crowd.
And the crowd,
I will have to check that out.
The
I did
crowd-
not know about that.
the crowd can put their name, like when you attend one of these shows, these live shows, you can fill out a slip of paper and put it in a bucket to be drawn. So it can
To
be
come up and do a joke.
Yep.
for 60 seconds. So it can be anybody.
There's like 200 people that sign up. And they pull them out.
Yeah.
And it's every week, too. He does it every week on
Every
Monday.
Monday
Where is
night.
this? Where
This is in Austin, Texas now.
Okay, I probably won't make it down there soon.
Hey, you never know. That's the new comedy mecca, they say.
Yeah.
Have you been to Texas before?
Oh yeah, I've been to Austin before. I was there with the Army when we were working on these UAVs, the unmanned aerial vehicles.
Okay.
Now they call them drones.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I know what you're
But
talking
this
about.
was the early day of drone warfare. Yes, back in 1980 something.
Damn. That's a hot minute we've been flying some drones around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50 years?
I've been to San Antonio to the Riverwalk and down there.
The Tower of Americas is there. Really
yeah.
cool.
You been to El Paso?
I don't like to talk about that one.
Yeah, neither do I.
I think Brian saw a donkey show there one time.
But my
Moving
wife and I
forward.
have tickets to go to Mexico here we're going in January 20th.
Nice.
Yeah.
It'll be an
Sick,
interesting. Have
dude.
you ever been there?
I've been to Mexico, yeah.
Okay.
All
My
right.
first marriage, we honeymooned in San Diego and went across to Tijuana where my wife insisted on paying full price for everything.
Donkey shows are frequent in Tijuana as well.
Is that where you saw it?
No, but they do frequent there.
Oh, okay.
We'll decide once we get down there if we ever want to come back.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
really?
honestly, yeah, Mexico's the place to be. If you can find somewhere to live down there and not get kidnapped and mugged,
Yeah.
that's the place to be. For sure. No, but Texas is a great state, man. So apparently, yeah, like Tom was saying, that's kind of like the comedy capital of the world
Right
now.
now.
Yeah. Everybody's kind of moving to Austin. Yeah, I don't know, man.
So
I have
what I was
a
gonna
friend
say-
that I knew from the Quad Cities who is down there now doing comedy. He's very
Hell yeah. And
Really?
what is the Quad Cities? Is that part of the Twin Cities?
No.
It's where
Quad
4
Cities
states-
is Iowa and Illinois.
It's like Des Moines.
Davenport, Bettendorf, Moline, Rock Island.
Oh.
Yeah.
God damn, I'm dumb, dude. I'm so fucking stupid.
You know, I've been retired now since 2008,
yeah.
and I'd recommend it to anyone who can do it.
I'm considering it.
I have several hobbies since that time.
What are some
too.
of your other hobbies?
One of them, well, back in 1971,
Nice.
when I was going to the University
Yeah. Minnesota?
Minnesota, Wisconsin.
Or-
it was
sorry.
Winona State University. I invented a table basketball game played with dice and player cards,
Okay.
and I sold 1,000 of them at the time over 3 years, and they actually were intended to recreate the actual statistics of the players that played at that time. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was his rookie year, 1970-71.
He was
He had
supposed to
his
come to my
cards
school
and
in high school to
Wilt
give a
Chamberlain and
motivational
all
speech.
those.
Oh, yeah, dude. I don't know if Larry Bird was racking them yet. Actually, yeah, Larry Bird was
He was
racking
later.
them.
So
He
did
was
the game
later,
get
okay.
picked up
I
by
was
somebody?
70 through 73. What?
Okay.
Did the game get picked up?
Well, yeah. Like I say, I did this myself.
Right.
I invented it, had it produced, and marketed it myself. Now, just 5 years ago, someone had an old one, had my name on it. They contacted me through the internet because everything is out there now.
Right.
Yeah.
And he said, "Are you the Wayne Wiskow who invented this game back?" I said, "Yes, that's me." He said, "Do you have any left?" I said, and I did. I had about a dozen that hadn't
wow.
sold. He wanted one. And then there's a website called Tabletop Basketball that it went to, and it became another huge demand. So I've just recreated another 100 games and sold them
That's awesome.
Damn, dude.
What
in
you
the
got
last year.
You got any other hobbies?
Yeah, I collect baseball cards.
Nice.
I
Okay.
have over
collector.
300,000.
Wow.
So you're definitely into basketball and you're definitely into baseball.
Yeah.
Did you ever have you always been a big sports guy?
Yeah.
What other sports do you follow, or are those just the two?
Those are mainly it, and football. I'll follow the Vikings.
Okay, I'm
and,
surprised you don't follow hockey, being from up in
Yeah,
the northern winds.
Yeah,
How
you
do
know?
you do you have any opinions about all the sports gambling going on now? I mean, it
The
was under the
gambling?
table for a while, but now it's more everywhere.
Yeah, have you seen
it's,
this? It's everywhere.
It's about 25 years too late for Pete Rose.
Did you used to have? Did you used to have a bookie?
He'd be running Sport Kings now, and a bookie rather than just gambling. He'd be on the other side of it. I'm the house.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
And he'd be in the Hall of Fame. So what the hell?
Did you have a bookie back then?
No.
I got a buddy. Cole has a bookie.
He said that awfully fast. I don't believe him. He said no.
Is there a statute of limitations on that?
Yeah, dude. I don't know how that works, man. I'm still owing somebody money from 1983.
So do you think you following sports and stuff like that helps you be more relatable to like the guys in the crowd? Like, do you have any sports material or just like locker room?
Not really. You heard the only one I had when Jimmy Peterson broke, and that's a true story. He's 2 years younger than me and a real hot shot second baseman. He slid into second base during the game and broke his ankle.
Oh, yeah.
And I got called up.
Next man up. Here we go. Go. And you were riddling off your RBI and on base percentage and all that. Were those numbers not good? I don't know how statistics work in baseball. The 0.6 and the 0.65.
Not good as being very generous.
Okay, not being
There's
good.
There's an O in the front, so I assume it's like 0 for 61 swings.
Okay.
That's about 1 for 38, something like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so you weren't...
I did manage to get hit a time or two.
Free base.
Yeah, I wore a baggy uniform and hung it over the plate.
Yeah, and then you just... Oh, God.
Yeah.
Basketball later picked that trick up.
Yeah, thanks to LeBron James. Anyways, so you're following a little bit of the Vikings. That's cool. I'm a big football guy.
Have you taken any young comedians under your wings over the years?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I have I've mentored a couple young ones. They haven't gone anywhere
Yet.
I'm not taking any blame for that
Yet.
Have you tried adopting them? No, I'm just kidding.
Are you open to adoption of a comedian?
I dated a comedian.
How did that go?
Yeah.
I need to know about that.
Yeah,
Was that just a hot mess from start to finish?
Every argument's just a roast battle back and forth.
You know, what made it really interesting was that she's black.
Oh, nice, dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
nice.
And that was you'll hear about her tonight too.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
about
it
that.
is. I'm not going to give a lot of it away, but yeah, she is something else.
Would you advise it if you're a comedian to date a comedian, or just stay away from that?
It's such a personal thing. Yeah, you can do it, but man, you get the wrong one, it's going to end up really bad.
I can only imagine.
Jeez Louise, dude. So what is I assume you've performed in multiple states and multiple different places. What's one of your favorite places that you've done comedy that you'd be more than willing to go back and do again? State or town or specific venue, whatever you think. However,
I do Helium in St. Louis, and
I've been there. Helium in St. Louis is actually really nice.
Very nice comedy.
The one in the mall, right? It's like in the mall.
Is.
I love that spot. I got to take you there. It's really, really nice. They have a good venue.
It's a nice spot to do comedy. They've done well. I'm going to be doing their competition again the next time it comes up. They do an annual competition for the funniest comedian in St. Louis.
Ooh, okay.
And the last time, the top 3 were given callbacks to do more comedy, and I finished 4th. So,
oh, man. Well, hey, maybe
you're
next
right
year that guy will die.
I'm moving on up.
You're right there, though, man.
I'm on the cusp.
There's a little spot down in St. Louis called Pops. You ever heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just went there for the first time for a music show.
I did a comedy show there.
Did you?
Yeah.
I got to take you to Pops, too. It's a really great spot.
Yeah.
I never knew my pops.
Yeah, no, I don't really know mine either. No, but yeah, that was the first time I've been there in Sauget.
Sauget.
It's a really fancy name for a not very fancy town, I like to say.
Yeah.
Very, very, very kind of sketchy.
I did a joke about Sauget. You want to hear the joke I did about Sauget? You know
I got time, dude.
It's
I love it.
It's a town of about 200 people.
Yeah.
And 12 refineries. That's about the but
yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. I did a joke about a guy who was going on a trip in line at the airport, and the drug-sniffing dog pulled him out of line as he was going to Amsterdam. I said, dude, you were taking weed to Amsterdam? Don't you know that they've got that over there already? I said, That's like taking ice to Alaska.
Yeah.
That's like taking hookers to Sauget. They're already there. You don't have to look them. They'll find you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to bring your favorite hooker to Las Vegas.
Yeah, I like that, dude. I like that a lot. That's arguably probably the dumbest decision.
Yeah.
I don't know how true that story is, but,
Yeah.
that guy's dumb if it is real. So I want to run a couple jokes by this guy before the night's over, too, just see what he thinks. Tom and I are both aspiring
comedians.
Failing comedians. Yeah, we haven't started yet, but when we do, we aspire to fail. So, that's what
easy.
that's what we're all about, dude. Just really poorly timed jokes, really dark humor, stuff like that. Yeah, man. I don't know, dude. So what?
What piece of advice would you give to us, somebody that's like wanting to start comedy?
Okay, well, write a lot of stuff down. Just write your jokes out, run them by people, and don't be afraid to revise. There's nothing sacred about what you write the first time or two. I do that a lot. I write my comedy down, and I try it, and if it doesn't work the first time, I'm not going to give up on it right away.
Is it if one person chuckles, there's something there, or if it doesn't hit at all, you think there's still something there, and you keep mining into it?
If you like it, keep using it till the people like it.
Gotcha.
Have you ever?
I think some of my humor is really funny, and sometimes the audience doesn't find it that way at all.
Have you ever heard the term or the saying "kill your babies"?
Yeah, I've heard the term.
Someone dropped this on me, a comedian the other day, a female comedian. She's great, Bree Gibson from Evansville, Indiana. But we were mid-conversation, and we were talking about revisions and editing and taking stuff out. And she said, sometimes, it's, da-da-da-da-da. She said, kill your babies, like, out of nowhere. Yeah. And then I just stopped her from answering the rest of the question. I was like, why are we talking about killing children? I didn't understand. I had never heard it before. Yeah. And then she said, no, it's kill your babies, like kill your darlings.
What you think is so funny and nobody else ever will.
Yeah, but exactly. So that's kind of what we're talking about with revisions. Yeah. So it's good that you know what that saying means, because I honestly had no idea.
What about
kill your darlings?
Like when you get up on stage, do you have any advice for like crowd work or anything along those lines? Or how to read a crowd?
I'm not real big on crowd work. I will throw some things out there occasionally, but I don't do a lot of interplay with the audience.
What about reading the audience? Is there like a way that you can kind of tell?
Oh, yeah.
You have like a magic 8-ball or something backstage.
That's in Mexico.
I try to make eye contact with people, they're fairly close, and I will rag on some of them occasionally.
Gotcha.
So that will happen, but that's about the extent of into the audience. But I can whip out a line and make everybody laugh at one time if I want to.
I'm not good at reading an audience.
That is very clear.
I make some jokes sometimes that I didn't read.
Would you like to give an example for our new friend Wayne here? Maybe even the most recent example where you were having a.
I don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that one? Let's say that I know a guy. Okay, hypothetically, Wayne, I know a gentleman. You might call him reserved or conservative. He's just kind of very calm and kept to himself kind of guy. And he's walking with another. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. It'll just ruin it. I can't do it. I'll tell you after the show. Yeah. It's very funny though.
I write a lot of inappropriate jokes that nowadays would be cancelable.
Yeah, I've had to rethink some of my things since the Me Too movement and body shaming type stuff has come along.
Yeah, I feel like those jokes are still good to do on yourself. You know what I mean? Because nobody can talk shit. That's like that guy we were talking about on the drive up here from Evansville. We were talking about Ari Shafir. He's a Jewish gentleman. He's a famous comedian, Jewish gentleman, real nice guy, funny as hell, pretty famous. And he released an entire special of
YouTube.
Nothing but Jewish material.
Yeah.
And it was pro-Semitic, anti-Semitic. He was just all across the board, just all Jewish material for an hour and change or whatever. But I feel like that's when those jokes, you can still use those highly inappropriate jokes. But like if you use them on yourself, nobody can shut you down if you're talking shit about yourself.
Is what matters.
Yeah.
The source.
Yeah, but there are no no jokes about cis white elderly men.
There is an older white gentleman that actually is doing fairly well. I've seen a lot of his shorts on YouTube.
I've seen, I think, the same guy.
Maybe.
I wonder if I don't know this guy.
I'm blanking
Does
on.
he
I'm
talk about
terrible
his
with
dating
names.
site? Where the
Yeah.
carbon dating.
Dating and all kinds of stuff.
Carbon dating. Yeah, I know that guy. Yes.
Yeah.
That guy is very good.
Went to the antique store. They wouldn't let me leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
He's
See?
pretty good.
There's you can be ageist towards yourself.
I do. I do.
Self-deprecation, man. It honestly, it can, a lot of humor can draw from
Age does come into my humor.
That's good, man. That's good.
Part of life, part of growing up.
Yeah, and you've got a lot of years behind you, a lot of experience, just in general, all over the globe. I mean, just as a last question from me, and Tom, you can take the floor after this, but like, how much do you think, like percentage-wise, I mean, how much do you think that's helped you? Like, especially now at 74? Six. At 76, I wouldn't put you a day past 65. No, but at 76, all those years and all that traveling, how much do you think that is being woven in or helping build your comedy sets?
It's hard. It's hard to see where that would come in. What the travel has done for me, though, has broadened my perspective about what is going on in this country and how what we consider normal here isn't really normal in the world.
Can you give an example?
What I mean?
Just out of curiosity, what would be normal here that's totally...
Everybody's packing.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough. Yeah. I mean, we are at the Rod and Gun Club, so that's very fitting.
Yeah.
Very fitting.
I'm not going to denigrate that here. I might get shot.
Yeah.
I don't want to risk that. I have my limits.
Yeah. Maybe don't make a lot of anti-gun jokes tonight. No, I'm joking.
Wearable or professed.
I idolize my elders, my older family members and stuff.
Yeah.
I really do think that it's neat that you guys have all these years of knowledge, and I really do enjoy sitting down with somebody that's well traveled and been around a time or two. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, so I was just going to essentially say, like, with the piggybacking off of your point of like years that have changed, like your materials probably changed from when you first started to 25 years later.
Yeah.
Like the content is different.
Right. I remarried 6 years ago. This is after a very happy divorce, and my lovely wife has given me a forever trove of new material. Awesome. And so now I'm doing wife jokes where the wife isn't really the butt of all the jokes.
Right.
The first wife, I take it out on her.
There you go, dude. I've heard kids are good for that too. Kids are great for stand-up
I got
material.
some about kids.
Yeah.
I have 3 children, one of each.
Nice.
One of each.
Sort of passive and aggressive.
Okay.
Well,
you don't have children, do you?
I have one.
No.
Yeah, wait till you get 3.
I have 0. Goose egg over here for.
I keep telling him it'll change his life.
For the worse.
I think it brings a new perspective.
I guess.
It brings a whole new meaning to life. Also, sometimes a whole new hate for life. But
yeah.
Take the blessings with the curses.
I guess, dude.
So Wayne, our last bit of the interview is kind of just like overall. We already asked for advice for other comedians and anything like that. Do you have any words of wisdom maybe that you would give to just the next generation by chance?
Yeah. Never hide your weed while you're high.
That's a good one.
That's a good one,
dude. Funny story.
Hold on. Did I hear that right? Never hide your weed when you're high?
Yeah, like you want to, somebody knocks on the door, you put it somewhere, and then you don't remember where it's at. Funny story about this, that my buddies were trying to get me to stop smoking, right? And so they hid my stuff. I found it. One of my buddies was like, hey, I'm going to college. I can't take my gun to campus. I forgot it. Like, can I drop it by at your house? Sure, dude, no problem. Drops it off. I take it apart. I write a riddle for where every piece of the gun is hidden. I go to the bar and get blackout drunk. He gets off of college, comes to the house, finds a list of riddles. I don't remember where any of the pieces are. So it's me and like 6 people around the table at a bar getting read off riddles and trying to figure out where in the hell my apartment these pieces could be.
Yeah. Did you just wake up with a firing pin between your butt cheeks one night?
No,
or?
but I hid all the bullets in different places too, and like had
Jesus,
different.
Murphy.
Oh my.
It was wild.
Oh my
So
God.
the kind of final wrap up question we got here,
All right.
Wayne, before last minute shout outs and where people can find you at is was there ever like a dark moment on this comedy journey where you wanted to quit comedy? And we don't care about that moment. We care more about like what pulled you through it, what kept you coming back, what.
Yeah, when you're older, it does get harder to travel for comedy, and it is something that I really take enough pride in that I want to prepare. So it's not all easy. It's work, but it's work that I really enjoy. And you asked me earlier what I like most about it is the reaction of the audience. I love to hear the laughter to something I've just said.
Just fills you back up.
That is it.
So that's what motivates you, just making people
It
laugh
is.
and smile.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, man.
Not the $150 I'm getting tonight.
Well, good on you, brother. Brother Wayne, I appreciate you, dude. I really think you're doing great stuff. Some might argue laughter is the Lord's work, and you're out here doing it. So we appreciate you.
Thank you.
This world sucks, and we have a lot of reasons to be mad and sad all the time. So,
And last minute shout outs. Who's got you to where you're at? Who's keeping you going? Who's motivating you?
Who's motivating me to keep going? Oh, I'm pretty much a self-motivated person.
Okay.
You can tell because I have all these hobbies
Right.
since I retired. And I go around the house with a smile on my face all the time because I have something else to do. I just sold $80 worth of baseball cards today online to a guy who will really enjoy the nice cards that I've just given him.
Awesome.
Man, you made $230 today, dude.
finding the positive in every little aspect.
Yeah, man.
Nice. So, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I think we're good, brother. You got a show to get ready for here.
Thanks
at
for
the-
showing up early. You know, you could have just shown up right when the doors open, but we were able to convince you to stop in early. And
Yeah, we got people
look this out.
filtering in now. I think we got an hour and a half ish until showtime. So we'll cut it here, man. Again, we're at the Bruceville Rod and Gun Club. Thank you so much to those folks. Everything they're doing, they're serving up cold beer, snacks. People are starting to trickle in for the show at 7. That you're
Tim
gonna
and Wayne will be serving up laughs here in
Yep.
a little bit.
You're opening, correct?
I am the feature
You're the feature
performer, yeah.
Okay, nice, dude.
Yep.
Very excited to see your set, man. I'm very pumped. So, but yeah, as Tom said, thank you so much for your time, sir. Seriously, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah,
It's my
and
pleasure.
This has been another thrilling episode of the Days Grimm, guys. My name is Brian Michael Day,
My name is Thomas Grimm.
and this has been Wayne Wiskow. Hard O. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you.